I'm Sam Wicks, and you're listening to True Bloods.
Jeez, this is the most one-eyed podcast.
It's what we're here to do.
is.
There is only one side in this competition. It's game changing.
It's absolutely game-changing, Deeble.
Riddle me that now.
Yeah, riddle me that, Deeble. Do you remember?
It's what we're here to do. This is True Bloods, the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast, and we are back in the AFL Today studio to talk about the win over the Kangas, the upcoming derby against the Giants, and everything else. Sydney Swans, joined as always to my first left, Madison Clarko.
Yes.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, just another dub.
Another
Getting
W in
used
the
to
chat.
this. I could get used to all these
What is
wins.
it, 5 of the last 6?
Is that right?
Oh, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm happy to back you in.
We're a big
I'm
stats pod,
happy
so
to
we'll
back
go
you
with
to
that.
the hills.
And then to your left, Clarko, joined by 8A again. How are you, mate?
As I said, I will keep turning up weekly if we keep on winning,
The
which
fe-
we will do this week against the Giants, because all we do against the Giants is win, win, win.
The feedback's been good
It has been.
about Donnelly.
There's a few glazers over on YouTube, especially this week. They're a big fan of 8A's work. And we're happy to have him while we're winning. As soon as we have an L, which may never be anyway, he's gone.
Yeah.
Mate, we
But
will
let me just make
drop
that clear,
you that
faithful.
quickly.
It's all right. It's fine. It's good to see that my nan is watching, though, for those comments on YouTube.
Oh,
Thanks, Val.
Shout out, Nan. Big shout out. But boys, we managed to get it done against the Kangas.
It wasn't pretty in parts, but I mean, the rhetoric and the narrative that, we'll forget that game pretty quickly. I'm not going to go that far, Deebs.
No.
I reckon there was some really good passages of play. I reckon we're just starting to get going with the midfield group, getting a bit of continuity, a bit of synergy. And boy, just off the top, I mean, we can talk about Haynes and Grundy till our heart's content, right? Just off the top, Jack Buller. I'm really liking what he's offering and how he's striking the footy, Deebles.
Is it fair to say we're a big Jack Buller pod?
Have to be.
8A.
Yeah, we're a big Jack Buller pod, but we're a big set shot routine pod as well.
Yes.
Go through your routines. Maybe don't get so close to the man on the mark.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
was that last one. Because you know what? We could have iced that game
Yep.
if he kicks that goal. That was frightening. But
Yes.
the other two balls, you don't see balls get struck better than that, Deebs.
Oh, the man in the car park, the man from the car park, he hit one pretty well.
He did
Yes.
hit one pretty well. But
Yeah.
just gun barrel straight. It's good to have a key position forward that's leading up and marking the footy, because that's what we're a big pod about. Big lead up key forward pod.
Yeah, exactly right. And I just like how he presents, and it's the effort too. That's the intangible of coming into this footy side, his effort and just the contested, repeat efforts, all that type of stuff. I think he's bringing that, which we've probably been lacking a little bit. Like he nearly does it a little bit better than the Pirate emoji, sort of, that real follow-up play, but he's definitely carrying his weight at the moment.
He deserves the contract. Like we've talked about it already. He's out of contract this year. I'm shocked that there's not papers in front of him already. Go on, give him 2 or 3 years.
There may well be.
Yeah, exactly. Because if not, there'd be some teams who are terrible and need a forward that would be sniffing around going, well, here's a nice little option for us.
100%. 100%. But I just think he's a guy, we talk about continuity.
Yeah.
I think just he's a guy, if we keep getting games into him, it's a blessing in disguise for him that Amati's down. It gives a chop out to Hayden McLean a little bit. But again, him and McLean are such different forwards that it's a really good mix in there at the moment. With Papley coming back, he's at test this week.
That's right.
That's going to look really good. That forward line starts to look really potent, don't you think?
Yeah, and then it also depends on sort of what other magnet we move this week. If, the Eshe plays again, or if we
Correct.
decide to go a little bit smaller. So we know Paps is going to walk in and start, but it's like, do we, we'll get to the VFL report later, but apparently some of the kids have had an amazing day out against the North Twos, and I suppose they needed to do it. It's like Detoli, everyone keeps banging on about Detoli. Maybe it's a chance as a sub even.
Could be.
Could be.
It could be out there for us, Deeps.
It could well be, Clarko. It has to be.
Now, our disposal, I reckon, was the difference early in the game. We were so clean in that first quarter outside. The disposal efficiency sat at 84%. I think we ended up on 75% as a team, but it was so bloody noticeable, especially when I think the Roos were sitting at about 50% for the first quarter. Even when they got the ball, and they didn't get the ball a great deal in the first quarter, but the way we were able to move it with pinpoint precision, that's where we've been lacking, you know?
Yeah, they definitely went with us for the first, half an hour, 50 minutes of that game. There's no doubt.
But they couldn't finish their work.
They couldn't finish their work, and I thought our skills were quite good around the ground, and people were sort of talking a little bit, and it came through from you guys a little bit that that there wasn't that heat in the contest, but we were using the ball quite well at stages too, and I think the tackling intensity was there all day. So there was a little bit of both throughout the game, and it sort of came in ebbs and flows, I reckon.
We sort of look at with the tackles, how, Rowy's had his 6 or 7 there, but then you see Heens, Chad, Errol, Sheldrick.
Your man Beefy.
My man Beef with 4 to 5 tackles each. So it wasn't just, like last week, Rowy had 15 tackles. It was a fairly even spread, but North won the tackle count and the 1% count. It almost felt, we kicked those first few goals. It's like, right, this is North. They'll roll over. Here's a 10-goal win.
That's right.
And they didn't. We sort of went, and Jared Healy, I don't know what we've done to him, but he loved whacking us throughout the game.
He overcorrects himself.
That's right.
And it does. He did ask for a Hall of Fame jacket, which was pretty funny. So they did look nice, by the way. The velvet.
Ooh, the maroon, like the dark purple maroon. But it's nice.
We were at times, I think our options, we were a bit too Hollywood smart arsey as well. Yep. And I think it's North. It's fine. It's going to happen. But that mentality leaked in a little bit. But when we needed to click, we clicked into gear and just absolutely split them open. But can we also talk about their lack of basic footballing skills?
Yeah.
They can't hit a target. It's the first thing you learn in Auskick.
Yeah. But if that was coming from our footy club, we would.
Colby McKercher in the last quarter running out of the defensive 50, slicing at 7 metres.
I was watching it with German.
Yeah. The missed handball.
He would have had some great things to say about Colby McKercher.
The thing was, so I'm at his wedding. I'm a groomsman at his wedding earlier in the year, and he's got a mate who works for North in the commercial area, and he's got Colby McKercher. He is Errol, and I'm just seeing the bloke. He's like, by foot, no one better. I'm just seeing him turn it over and turn it over and turn it over. It was so good. I'm like, how is Errol going?
I think it's one of the highest games scores converted from turnover from one player that we've seen. There were 3 or 4 instances, whereas direct goals and a bit like
there's a stat called critical errors or critical turnovers in champion data, and I'll get to Hoyne in a bit.
His man Harley Reid bounced back on the weekend though as well.
He did.
But there's critical errors from Colby McKercher were significant. There's a lot from Brody Grundy as well.
I was about to say there was a big critical error
from Brody Grundy as well. And let's talk about the great man, because I know he's against C grade ruckman, right? And Callum Coleman-Jones.
He'll never play.
He'll never play again. He's done. It's like you always say, Deebs. That's the old man injury, and that's one you don't come back from. And he was just cactus. And
Cactus.
then we had now what was his name?
Teakle.
Who
knocked out Zerha in the first minute.
Yeah.
No one picked up on that.
He didn't look right.
He
after
needs
that,
Zerha right in the face. I'm like, someone, HIA, anyone. It's come out this week that yesterday that Zerha's in doubt because he's been sick from a head knock. It's like, look at the video of North's best goal of the week. He gets kneed right in the jaw.
Yeah, well, and he's your C grade ruckman, right? He's had 5 hit outs for the day. He's cleaned up Cam Zerha. So you really can't laud Brody as just having this generational type rucking game. I know he almost beat the record, but just the connection piece between it's him and Errol and him and Haynes, it's just working so well, AD, and it's so good to watch. It's been a tough year, boys.
Yeah.
But you look at situations like that and you go, this is just now enjoyable to watch football. It's fun to watch footy again, you know?
Well, the hitouts that lead to scores, and I think it was there was a record amount of hitouts that led directly to scores in that chain. And that's, I suppose, yes, it was up against Bryn Teakle and whatever his name is, and everyone's like, oh, that he still had 62 hitouts, which is one of the top 15 hitout games of all time.
It's unbelievable.
You've still got to do it. He's had 62 hitouts, 22 touches, 11 clearances, continuing on with that. What do we call it? A triple double?
Yeah, we'll call it a triple double.
He's continuing on with that. But it's the tap down, the wide tap to Haynes that lands in the snap, the tap to Errol, that scuffed kick that lands in Haynes' arm, the tap to Haynes that leads to the Errol goal. Like, it's beautiful to watch. You know it's coming, but you can't stop it. And that's what happens when the teams are in this flow state.
Yeah.
Which, and I've got the stat here, and it leads into these blokes.
Oh, here we go. Here's some value, Deeps.
Yeah, this has come straight from our good mate Lockie McCurdy. So over the past 6 weeks, Grundy, Haynes, and Errol all sit within the top 20 rated players in the AFL. Brodie Grundy is the 3rd top-rated player in the AFL in the last 6 weeks. That's why he's your All-Australian ruckman. Haynes is 8th. Errol is 18th. Clearances rounds 14 to 19th. We are 1st, 2nd in contested possessions, and 1st in points from clearances.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's turning around, but we saw that sort of connection piece with Errol and Brodie Grundy in the Derby last year, right? And you can just see that coming to fruition. It's another year, time at the block. These guys, Tom Harley, embrace it, right?
You can't beat time at the block.
You can't beat it. These guys have just trained so much together now, and you've seen it come to fruition, even with the clearances. I think you can add Chad into that. I think his clearance work and burst out of pack. Chad's had an almost game on the weekend, right? 26 touches, 1 goal, 3. He goes back and just backs himself in a little bit more. He has a huge game, and that's 3 goals.
He could have kicked 3.
Yeah.
He really could have kicked 3.
And, you know, that we just know that game's coming from Chad, and he kicks straight there, and that's a massive game.
There's a couple of options that he took, which were just the wrong option, but we know we're going to get that with Chad, but they weren't he's tried to bite off too much. They were the smart-ass options because we're winning easily, and it's, you know, you can take those options.
Just a little bit cute.
It was a little bit cute, but I'll tell you what I did like, especially, I know that third quarter was pretty hard to watch.
Yeah,
it was pretty
yucky
boring
stuff.
stuff, right?
Lost it at one
But
point.
what is really pleasing to see is pulling different levers when required. We had 103 uncontested marks.
Yeah.
Controlling the football. We absolutely dominated in terms of time in possession.
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff we've got to remember when there's a bit of a run on us. If you maintain possession, there's really nothing anyone can do. And we've got the foot skills and skills by hand to be able to do that. We absolutely controlled the footy the whole day.
Well, we had 370 odd touches, and you sort of look back from the week before we were held to a season low, and that's why the Saints wanted to restrict us, how damaging we can be when we get the footy in hand. Like that link-up play that we had that led to the Braden Campbell goal in the last quarter.
How good is that?
You're not stopping it.
Yeah.
Like just quick options, quick hand movements, and then the right option picked out, finding Braden in the forward 50.
That's right.
Do you reckon Kingy's getting a bit nervous?
I think I saw him admit on radio, I think he's like, I think I'm losing the battle. Like it was just a sort of a
Really?
Yeah. And Ryan Daniels from WA, he's a footy journo over there.
Yeah.
Last week on the podcast that he does, which I listen to, it's pretty decent, but it's like he's like, oh, I don't see it in Grundy. And basically Xavier Ellis and his other co-hosts are just piled and going, mate, this bloke's been killing it.
Yeah.
And then in yesterday's show, he's like, I've lost that. It is freely admitted because I think he went back over it's 10 weeks now.
But also, what you're going to get is recency bias. Even the AA judges can say they're as impartial and impenetrable to recency bias as much as they want. The fact of the matter is, you're going to remember stuff happening like that.
But it's also when it's a 12 to 15 week block.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly. You can't ignore it.
Especially for a position like a ruckman, you can't deny it.
Yep.
Like if you're Jezza, who's going to win the Coleman, no one's going to remember the 5-week patch in the middle of the year where Jezza did sweet FA.
Yeah.
They're going to remember, he's like, oh shit, he's kicked 80 goals. He's the Coleman medalist. Yep, straight in.
That's right.
Yep.
And it's whereas players like Grundy or even the Worrell from Adelaide need to consistently do it through the year. Otherwise, 2 bad weeks and they're done.
That's right.
And Grundy's got a chance the next month as well with the matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Hey, Deebs, you know what I liked?
What's that?
Nice little spread of people possessing a football, right? From Errol up to Heaney, you got like seven blokes above sort of at mid-20s, all tackling, all kicking the footy. I just want to put the narrative to bed that I know Haynes has kicked 5 and had 34. and had bloody 13 clearances. I get that, right? But the fact that we're reliant on our stars, I just think it's an outdated, silly narrative that people look for to provide some sort of value in an article.
How did it work for Fremantle on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't. I think it's not something that's been brought up hugely this year, bar that one article.
No, I've heard it a great deal.
Yeah.
I've heard it heaps.
Yeah.
I've heard it flat stick all year. Since people have come back, they're too reliant on their stars. It's like, firstly, that's why you've got stars. You need to rely on them. That's why there's role players, there's stars. There's lockdown defenders, there's key defenders, there's key position players.
And like you said, look at the job we did 2 weeks ago on Caleb Sarong and Jordan Clark.
Yep.
Kept them to 24 touches between them. They went bananas on Sunday against Collingwood and had about 60-odd touches between them.
And that's what happens.
And what happens? Fremantle win. You stop them, you beat them. It's pretty simple footy.
And this brings me to Hoyne, who I was listening to on the way in, Deebs, which, I hate listening to Hoyne. I absolutely hate. I can't have it at the price. Heaney didn't even have the highest rated. Heaney didn't even have the highest rated game on the weekend.
Yeah.
You would have to be joking, sir.
Yeah.
When I found this out,
no, look-
I started laughing because, don't get me wrong, we're all aboard the Grundy All-Australian train. But for Jordan Sweet to get more super coach points and ratings points down in a pissing down Tasmania on Saturday afternoon where they got flogged because he had 42 hit outs. He had more, the champion data ranking thing is defensive actions and things like that. The ruckmen get a lot of higher points from hit outs. It's the same with super coach as well.
Yeah.
You tell me, what is the single best individual AFL performance of the season so far? Everyone's probably going to go, Isaac Heaney.
Yep.
Jordan Sweet wouldn't register in the top 100.
It's true.
Yeah, that's right. That's where you read into it sometimes when it builds your argument, and then there's other things where it's just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So you pick and choose your battles there. But did you guys know that you're in the presence of an oracle?
Oh,
yeah. This was bang on from you.
Because
Give it to us. Give us the numbers.
The old invite to the party. I went to the skipper because we love Millsy. He's got some continuity back in his game, and I said he's going to have 28 touches and he's going to go at 85% plus. And what's he done, boys? He's had 28. He's gone at 89%, and he's just led from the front and got it done. We're a different side when Millsy's up and running, and he's the the chief back there. He's distributing. His hands are clean, and he didn't have one error for the day.
He's quietly just come back into his all-Australian form. Literally, he's just. This is what people failed to remember when he wasn't playing footy. Millsy's one of those guys you barely notice him a lot of the time. He's just so clean, and you don't notice him because he doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah,
that's right.
He just moves the ball with precision.
Well,
that's why we call him the roller Deebles.
That's right. Rolls Royce. He's smooth.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know it's there. It's just quiet. He goes about his work and he gets it done. And we've got these flashy stars. We've got your Chads. We've got your Heanies. Millsy's just doing what he has to do, and that's what makes us a good footy side. Is when Millsy's up and running like he is.
Lizard bounced back.
He did.
Big time.
Goodbye foot.
We had that problem with him last week. He gained about 800 meters, but it seems like he'll have one bad one, 4 really good ones, and that's just going to be the life of the Lizard.
I reckon he'd hate it when he has a shocker.
He does. You see it on his face. That loss that we had against the Doggies when he had a few errors there and he knew he had cost us. But this is what you're going to get out of players like the Chad, like the Lizard. These guys who take risks, take the game on, go for those hard kicks. They're going to make more errors, and people are going to remember those things when it happens in games. And I still feel like a lot of people hold on to these things, but the Lizard did absolutely bounce back last week.
For sure.
You had a big thing about tackling technique during the game as well.
I did, yeah. Gussie, man, it's been a huge thing for as long as how many games has he played now? 10, 12 games, I reckon he's probably got out there. He goes too high, and it's cost us in really important times in games in that forward line when he's working hard because he's an in and under ball, but he goes way too high with the tackles.
Yeah.
It's above you got to go for the hips. It's what you're taught as a kid.
Is it kind of an experience thing though?
No, it's technique,
you don't reckon?
bro.
Yeah,
100%.
but does that technique come from just repeating the action so often during the game.
I don't think so. That's if we're talking kicking or something like that, I think it is. But this is something that it's a fundamental of the game, and we're huge on fundamentals and
Big fundamental
And
pod.
you know, when the pressure's on in a tight, close game, you don't want to be giving away high tackles. And I reckon he got away with one in that last quarter too.
He did. We you want to put it in your kit bag.
You do.
You want to have
kit bag
big
pod.
kit bag pod. Now, this is a problem as well. I think we get tackles broken a little bit too easily sometimes.
There
And
was a
that's
bit of that on the weekend.
That's killing me
There's
a
a
little
lot of
bit.
those one-armed efforts where we're not putting in that final, like that dive or bit of desperation in that sometimes a Rowie will. There's a couple of times where or a Lloyd or a Juzzy, and even Lloyd sometimes it's just sort of that one arm and they can't get the full extension. Like LDU, very good player, very strong through the hips. You know what he's going to do. He's going to try and bust tackles every time. So that's one where you try to get him in the solar plexus rather than his hips because he's going to swivel. If you hit him right between the ribs, you're going to stop him.
For sure.
Is there a worse captain in the league than Jai Simpson?
How did he get 3 coaches?
Is there a worse captain in the league?
He's okay. Who have you had in the past? One of your men who you just love to go for?
Well, I mean, he's
Man, it's fair enough.
He's
not a good
bang
footballer.
average, mate.
3 coaches
He's
votes.
bang average. And it's hey, great looking man.
Who's the
He's a
captain?
great looking man.
Who's West Coast captain?
It's Oscar Allen, isn't it?
Well, he's not playing, mate. Oscar Allen's done. He's off to Brisbane.
Yeah, who is
forget his name.
What-
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've got no idea who their
Doesn't
interim
matter.
Fucking
captain is.
3 professional fucking footy podcasters.
Yeah.
Won't even
Hey,
bloody
no,
know.
we're a Sydney Swans
Yeah,
podcast,
I was about
mate.
to say. I was just trying to think.
Not him.
Yeah.
He's AFL today. That's all the teams, Stables.
Yeah. I mean,
See, you're just throwing your bloody co-host under the bus again. Come on, mate. Come
do
on,
not
mate.
care about teams that have won one game.
that's
Asking
right.
for a
That's true.
That's
priority
right.
pick.
Now, boys, some really great news during the week. I don't know if you know our team, our list profile, but we've only got 2 players on the list who are fathers. Right?
Yeah.
You've got your Joel Hamlings,
I thought
pops
this
you up
is
in
how you were going
porridge.
to introduce Sammy.
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
right?
yes.
Deebs loves a double judge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
double
true.
joke's good. Just get a feel for it. Right?
Test it out.
Test,
Yeah.
test the
This
waters
is
and
Deebs-
see if we go with
This
it.
is Deebs at the comedy club on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
He shows up unannounced before he goes on stage
Shows
on
up
Saturday.
with his jokes on the piece of
That's
paper
right.
and just
Yeah.
walks up to the stage.
Yeah,
goes,
so we've got Joel Hamling, who's a father.
Yeah.
We've got Harry Cunningham, who's also a father. But
Jake Lloyd as
congratulations to Sam Wicks, who is the father of Paul Curtis. It's sensational the role that Wixie's been able to play this year, and
Not the first time.
Not for the first time. Exactly right.
What
He's-
a rejuvenation!
Oh,
and,
so
and
good.
could we be possibly any happier with how it's been? You can't, because he is a man who just never quite suited or never quite got the momentum going to be a pressure forward that we knew he had in him. Right, he's got that I've always been a big fan of the mongrel that he offers us. Right,
Yes.
it's that intangible. It's the sort of thing that Zach Jones used to give us. I've always rated that. No, but you know,
Yeah.
Zach Jones,
The grunt and the
butcher.
effort.
It's
Yeah.
the grunt.
Yeah.
Right? And you want a bit of that in your football side.
And that's a part of Swan's DNA.
Correct. Exactly. And for a while we didn't have much of it, and he was a shining light for that characteristic. But to see how he's been able to just flawlessly move into this role has really been one of the nice sort of story arcs of the season. AD.
Well, he destroyed the Wizard in our first game of the season. Absolutely killed him, made him look like a muggle. Now he's got
Muggle.
Yeah.
Add that one to the thesaurus.
But then he's kept Paul Curtis to 6 disposals, only 1 disposal inside forward 50,
Massive.
which led to a behind. And Curtis earlier in the year was probably staking a claim for the All-Australian small forward until he got rubbed out. But he's had a brilliant season.
For sure.
And he absolutely smashed him.
Took him to the cleaners.
Do you know what's funny?
Checked him into the Virgin Lounge.
Yeah. him and Jimmy Jordan. Jimmy Jordan had a rare week off. He was like, this is great.
He went to McKercher for a bit.
Yeah.
He went to
did,
McKercher
because
for a bit.
McKercher threatened to get off the
Hey,
chain.
McKercher didn't need a tagger on him.
No.
He was making his own errors.
He,
Bit of
he nearly
perceived
put on a
pressure.
red
Yeah.
and white jumper at one stage.
Paul Curtis last year spent a lot of time in the midfield. He spent no time in the midfield.
yeah, I saw
this
that.
year.
Saw that one come across the
That
desk.
I mean, that would have been the easy option, right?
Not getting a kick. Get in there.
Get in the guts. Put Simkin up forward where he can't hurt you as much.
Yeah.
Bizarre stuff. And I mean, let's talk about the great man Isaac Heaney.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he 34 touches, 5 goals, 1, 8 marks, 5 tackles, 9 inside 50s, 13 clearances.
13 clearances. No one has ever done that in the game before.
Yeah.
First time ever.
And the
Name one other time someone's done it.
You can't.
and just the second player to have 5 goals and 30 or more.
Yeah.
Dane Swan did it one day, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I bet Heaney's disposal was far more efficient.
He's going to be All-Australian again, doesn't he?
I think so. Well,
I think he'll be on the bench.
Yeah.
Quieter in the first quarter of the year,
Yeah.
I'd say. Then really got going.
Leading our goal kicking, clearly second in the best and fairest to Grundy.
Yeah.
You don't think anyone else from the squad's probably going to make the All-Australian squad, let alone the team, but you feel like Haynes and Brodie are both going to be in the squad, and you can make genuine arguments as to why Haynes should be in the team.
Yeah, well, you talk about that half-forward role, right? I think he does it better than anyone else as a mid. You know, the mids always get pushed to the half-forwards in this All-Australian team. There's no one doing it quite like Haynes is doing it with the split that he currently has and being effective as he is. I think he's averaging 1.5 goals a game, and that's better than anyone else who's playing in the midfield as much as Heaney is.
Correct.
Players that are probably locked on to get in the flanks are Cozzy and Rankin at the moment, and that's sort of where Haynes needs to fit in as well.
See, I reckon he's gone past Rankin. Rankin's spending a lot of time
dropped
forward.
off, Hey, I just couldn't. I'm in awe of him.
Yeah,
I'm in awe of
it's
him.
something special that we're
It
seeing.
really is.
And
Now, it's unfortunate that Marcus Bontempelli won't be coming to our football club next year.
that was really hard to hold on
which-
to over the
which
last
was
month.
Really building up steam in a couple of group chats. I'll tell you what, Faith. the Footscray double of Jamara Ugle-Hagan and Marcus Bontempelli, a coup signing for the Swannies.
Oh, mate, we would have copped the trade ban and started with negative 16 points.
But now that unfortunately that's not happening, I was looking forward to seeing Haynes just kick 100 goals next year because he's just in rare form, and it's not going to get any worse. He's in his prime now, Deebs.
Yeah,
he's in his prime.
That's it. We've got to capitalise on this type of form.
Need flag.
That's right.
Need.
But look, we got that 4 points, boys. That's all we got to keep doing. It's all we can worry about. Even though Clarko's barracking against us with certain results.
Let me make that clear. Faith.
You've never cared about the result.
Everyone's just having a sook. No. Oh, Fremantle have beaten Collingwood. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do, Faithful. I'm not going to sit there on a Sunday afternoon and be sad because Freo have come to the MCG and beaten the Pies by a point.
I was cheering Freo on.
I'm going to cheer for that. I don't care about the statistical probabilities. If we just need to keep winning, That's all we can do. You can't worry about Darcy Moore putting knees into someone's back. Wussy boy. Loved it. Loved Freo beating them.
Yeah.
Loved it. We'll always love that. Don't care. Don't care about the maths. Don't care about the statistical probability. We just need to kekeep winning.
There you go.
There's your social clip.
Yeah, very good, Clarko. Very good, mate. Well, that just about wraps us up. We'll tell Clarko needs a water. He's stressing me out over here, but we'll be back. Welcome back to True Bloods. Now we have the pleasure of being joined by the number one defensive player in the comp for mine. It's Sammy Wicks. How are you, Sammy? Thanks for joining us here on True Bloods, mate.
Yeah, I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Now, mate, really nice result on the weekend. We'll start there. It's fair to say that you took Paul Curtis to the cleaners. We've been referring to you as his father. I know you won't go that far, mate, but you must be pretty happy with the job that you did on the weekend.
Yeah, Mum and Dad actually sent me that AI photo, which was pretty creepy. I didn't think I aged too well in that, so I wasn't wrapped with that, but.
Do you know what, Wicksy? We tried a number of different ways to do it. It started with you in a North jumper, because you know how it never really gets it truly right. It started with you in a North jumper, and we just tried various different options, and that was the best one. Granted, yes, you did age you quite significantly, but you were Paul Curtis's father, in fact, so it sort of made sense.
Yeah, no, it was a good win though. Yeah, he's obviously a pretty handy player, so no, it was good to play my role and keep him goalless on the weekend.
Are you sort of, during the game, Are you talking to him at all? Are you getting stuck into him? What's the deal there when you
Uh,
when you got a roll on someone like that?
yeah, no, I think the only chat we had, to be honest, was about how poor the far end of the ground is, because pretty much everyone kept slipping over. So I think that was kind of the only chat we had. But apart from that, it was, yeah,
I
business.
bet you wish you had the metal studs back, Wicksy, down that end of the ground.
Yeah, well, it's actually kind of my fault that the old medals aren't allowed, unfortunately. So I've cost everyone, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
definitely.
The old Sam Wicks rule, but we'll
Yeah.
keep that one out. But mate, we might jump back into your early career, your junior footy and getting drafted. Where'd you play your junior footy and coming through the ranks and getting drafted to the Swannies?
Yeah. So I played all my junior footy at the Manly Bombers, and then a little bit for the Manly Wolves before starting to play a bit of footy for the Swans reserves, and then eventually got drafted. And then through that time, I was in the Swans Academy as well, since I was probably about 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah, so another product of the Swannies Academy. Talk us through that experience and what that did to your footy early on.
Yeah, I think it just early on really showed us the way for sort of training standards and the way you have to go about it, in order to play at the top level. Because, yeah, obviously in Sydney, footy's not as big as kind of Melbourne and South Australia, so the pathways aren't as strong. So to be able to have kind of that elite environment was huge, and yeah, it was massive for the transition into the AFL.
Who was sort of coaching you in the academy around that time?
Uh, Probably the big ones were Chris Smith, who was the CEO for a long time. And then Jared Crouch was one of my coaches, Nick Davis as well. So there was Mickey O.
Oh,
So there's some really good coaches and mentors for me along the way.
'05 alumni that in the
Yeah,
academy. That's not a bad
yeah,
entry into footy, Sammy.
pretty good.
Yeah, and sort of having those guys still around the club, that's a phenomenal thing, which I think that the club does really well, bringing, the past players and sort of our history. And, we've felt it when we're in at HQ. There is that Bloods culture, and it really does get sort of, like, you just sort of feel it when you're there, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Bloods culture is something that kind of all current and past Swans players, take real pride in. And I think, it's kind of a way of life, and continues to be a way of life for those guys, and it's great for them to be able to come back and reconnect with it.
Bloody oath it is. Mate, you sort of started around sort of 2019 into the COVID years. How did you find all that? Because I guess a lot of these conversations we have with Swannies players, seems like that was a bit of the making of the group, spending so much time together away. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, those are some of the best memories I have in the COVID times. It was pretty easy for me being kind of young with no responsibilities. I think it was, yeah, pretty tough for some of the other guys with families and stuff. But for me, I was just, yeah, young, playing footy, hanging out with the boys every day. So I couldn't have had a better time, to be honest. And then, yeah, in I think 2020, we were kind of ravaged with injuries, and they kind of needed to call upon the whole list. So that's when I got my crack and played, I think, don't know, maybe 7 or 8 games in that year. So it was, yeah, I love the COVID times. It was great.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think you're seeing that the fruits of that time and the team coming together and really building that team ethos. You've been unlucky to miss out on a couple of grand finals. You haven't been sort of a constant through it in the team. Bar sort of, I think it was 21. You made a good run at it and got some continuity in your game as sort of that forward pressure. Hitting the scoreboard, that type of thing. But you've really made the transition to a constant in this team, and we're probably one of the guys first picked these days. Can you talk us through sort of your mentality at the back end of last year, not playing in that grand final, and then with Coxie coming in, the opportunity for a new role, and what's changed for you in sort of the
Mm.
last 6 months?
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you said, I think I've kind of, yeah, lacked a bit of that continuity in the last couple of years. I think, yeah, it's been hard with injuries and off-field stuff and whatever, to sort of have that So yeah, at the end of last year, I hadn't probably had my best year, and then the coaches kind of said to me, "Oh, how would you feel about trying as a small defender?" And I was open to it, and sort of started training there in the preseason. And then yeah, I think probably this year I'll just put down to the work that I put up in the off season and in the preseason. I didn't really miss a session. I was training with some of the younger boys in the off season, Caden Cleary and Corey Warner, who are beast runners and great trainers. So kind of surrounded myself with those guys in the off season, which really set me up to sort of build some momentum going into this year. And then I think yeah, I've been learning along the way, obviously in the new role as a defender. Um, but the coaches have just sort of backed me to make mistakes along the way, and as long as I'm trying and playing my role each week, they're happy.
Well, you haven't made that many mistakes, to be honest, Wicksy, and we watch it pretty bloody closely. Are you enjoying it? Like the comparison between being that sort of pressure forward and playing your role down back at the moment? Are you enjoying the challenge and the change?
Yeah, loving it. I think it's sort of been just what I needed in my career, and pretty refreshing to be amongst a new group of guys in the back line and learning a new role. So yeah, I've been loving it. I've got some great role models down there as well, guys like Dane Rampy and Harry Cunningham, and boys who've done it the hard way and have just ground out unbelievable careers. So they've been really good mentors for me.
Who's shouting out the most direction? Who's giving you the most advice on field at a given time?
Uh Pretty good, the whole group, to be honest. We've got some
Yeah.
real leaders down there. I think, yeah, Millsy's obviously the skipper. He's been playing back there. Ramps is always vocal. Lewis Melican, Harry Cunningham, all the boys. It's a pretty vocal and tight knit back six or seven, which is really good to play in.
How good's it having the skipper back?
Yeah, no, it's unreal. He's obviously had a pretty tough time over the last year and a bit. So yeah, for him to be coming back in and playing some good footy is just great for everyone, I think.
Bloody oath.
Yeah, for sure. And that just must give that back six group a whole lot of confidence when you got a general like Callum Mills back there. And I think, the wider AFL media really forgets how good Millsy is. We call him the Rolls Royce here because he's so smooth around contests. And we saw it on the weekend, had 28 of the best, went at 90+%. And just that feeds, you guys with so much confidence that you got a real leader of the club back there, and it just allows you guys to play your roles a lot better back there, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's been a big addition back into the team. And yeah, as you said, I think people had sort of forgotten how good of a player he is. So I think he'll probably just keep getting better and better the more consistent footy he keeps playing.
And for sure, it's great to see that the likes of Lewis Melican back there really come into his own. He sort of looks like a bit of a leader on field. You would sort of say in his, first couple of years breaking into this side, he was probably the one getting, the directions. But now it feels like he's really taken on a leadership position back there. And, the more guys we have full of confidence there, the more sturdy it can be in that back six.
Yeah, definitely. I think for Lewis over the last few years, he's struggled with injuries a bit, which has kind of been made it tough for him to have that real sort of vocal presence on and off the field. But I think, yeah, definitely in the last year or two, he's really taken that leadership role in his stride, and he's an absolute general back there that we just know is going to get it done every week for us.
Speaking of generals, how's Big T Mac travelling? Have you had much of a chat to him since that unfortunate hit?
Yeah, I have. No, he's tracking really well. He's got a few training sessions and stuff under his belt now, so I don't believe he'll play this weekend just as a sort of precautionary, but I think,
Yeah,
yeah, after this weekend, it'll be, yeah, back on the tools for him and hopefully back in.
bloody oath.
Yeah, it's good news. It's good news. Now, starting off this year, I don't think we've seen an injury-riddled team like we had, and that sort of can really test, obviously, the depth of the list and sort of the morale across the place as well. Some tough times, when you're sitting at 3-8 or 3-9, whatever it was, it can get pretty dire. But can you talk us through, the team's struggling with injury and then also nearly turning the corner now and finding some form and We talk about continuity a lot, but we've definitely found that in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we didn't start the season the way we would have liked, and then the endless injuries didn't help us either. So I think we kind of always believed, we're one of the best teams in the comp when we're up and firing, but it was just putting together, a consistent team every week and getting that continuity, and then being able to play some consistent footy from there, which I think we're starting to show over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, what's the? I know in these sort of situations where we have to play relatively perfect football to be able to get a finals berth. I know you guys are sort of a 1 week at a time mentality, but is that discussed at all? A finals discussed, or is there a sort of wider sort of belief that it's literally just 1 week at a time that you focus on?
Yeah, no, the feeling's definitely just 1 week at a time. I
Yeah.
think we've kind of made it pretty hard for ourselves. So I think we're just absolutely locked into GWS this week, and we're just gonna just take it 1 week at a time and see how the season plays out. Because there's a lot of stuff that's out of our control, but
Yeah,
we can just
exactly.
control the performances we put in. That's all we can really worry about.
And at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, I reckon we're setting ourselves up for a really, really strong 2026 campaign anyway. So, the year's not lost in that regard. Hey, do you love playing against the Giants?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. I think it's always a good battle against them with a bit of feeling in it. So this Friday will be no different. I kind of think sort of all bets are off from past results or anything. We know how tough they are as an opposition. So it'll be on this Friday for sure.
Who do you want to wander up to in that forward line of the Giants?
I'm not sure what they'll do matchup wise. I think I'll probably be on Darcy Jones. He's pretty quick, young fella. So I don't think they'll be putting Ramps or any of the older boys on him. Probably up to me.
Yeah, nice little drive-by for Ramps
Yeah.
there. We love that. We absolutely love that. But we're playing with some pretty special players at the moment. The first one we'll touch on is the former Brodie Grundy. I think this sort of 8 to 10 week period that we've seen from Gruns has been huge. And sort of we talk about the connection with that midfield group. I'm sure you'd see it at training and that. And could you just talk us through, Brodie Grundy as a player and that connection with the midfield as well?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually really close with Broads. He's the next door neighbour in the duplex next to me and Ollie. So see
That's right.
plenty of him.
Megs was telling us. Megs from the Clavalley was telling us about that. There's a nice little Swans duplex there, is there?
Yeah, there is. So I've got to know him really well over the last sort of year or so, and I think as you said, that connection is something he values so highly, and it's a pretty invaluable skill that he's brought to the club. Not only on the field we see it with that sort of midfield connection and connection with the boys, but off field as well. He's a great person and leader, so he's been huge for the group coming in. And
it seems like he's been a perfect cultural fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's really found his feet up here, enjoying the Bondi lifestyle. And then I think it's translating into his footy. He's obviously been absolutely dominating the last few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. He would be prone to a cheeky latte down in Bondi or around those areas. I could see
the rig
Grant's
out,
just
walking
sitting
the
there
dog.
sipping a coffee.
Absolutely.
You're a surfer, Wicksy?
Yeah, I'm a surfer. Yep.
Who do you get out and catch a few waves with?
James Rowbottom's a pretty keen surfer. You can probably tell from the hair just by looking at him. But James Rowbottom, Dane Rampy, both Warner boys will come out for a crack as well. So there's a little crew.
Where do you get down to?
Yeah, where's the break for you, mate? When you boys just need to, clear the heads, where are you getting out to?
Yeah, well, I'm actually from the Northern Beaches over in Manly, so they're my favourite breaks over there. But living in Bondi now, I go out here a bit, which can be a bit busy and frustrating. So it's not ideal sometimes with all the tourists, but it's all right. Still get out there.
Sure. I'm sure you've got your secret break spots as well, mate.
Yeah.
So keep
won't
them in the
reveal
back pocket. We reach a big audience here, Wicksy, so we wouldn't want them getting out, mate. But
the Swannies bra boys.
The Swannies bra boys, exactly right. The form of Isaac Heaney last year was something pretty special, and I think we saw a bit of a legacy game on the weekend. Talk us through what it's like being in the presence of the man when he's just absolutely killing it on field, standing on heads, kicking goals, and having 35 touches, and what he brings to the group. And I'm sure he would bring you confidence as a player walking out next to him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty special. And yeah, the weekend sort of highlighted that. I think, especially from kind of full back, I just have the best view. I just sit there and watch some of the stuff he does, and it's just kind of like, oh my God, like
It's pretty
it's pretty
berserk, isn't it?
it's pretty incredible. And it's not only the highlights. We all know he can produce that, but he genuinely does a lot of the heavy lifting in that midfield and a lot of the hard stuff. He's an absolute bull in there. So he's kind of, yeah, he's the whole package, isn't he? I can't really think of any sort of weakness he's got in his game. So I'd hate to be, yeah, the opposition lining up against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And just getting back to your game a little bit, you've obviously done a lot of work. I think where you've really improved is your decision making in game. I think you're doing it really well. When you lock down and go that defensive side, but also taking on the game too. And I think you've been really good by foot. And been a real weapon for us going forward. Have you worked a lot on your decision making, and how do you improve that side of your game? Because I feel it's like something that set you apart this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing's kind of been with my fitness and speed work and that sort of thing, which has allowed me to kind of run out games and be quicker than my opponent, which gives me more time with the footy. So I think, yeah, kind of over the preseason, getting as fit as I can, as quick as I can, has allowed me to sort of, yeah, be able to take those first few steps and know that I'll have time to kind of steady and make decisions.
Yeah,
Do you reckon you're in the best shape of your career now, fitness
Yeah,
wise?
I'd say so. Yeah, definitely.
How good's that?
yeah, it's good there, but
Peak
it's a
Wicksy.
big thing. They just it can take a little while for that penny to drop to what it takes to be an elite player in this competition, mate. So it's kudos to you for putting in the work. And you know what? A few people have said to me over the time, Mads, is nothing ever nothing bad ever comes from working hard, mate.
That's correct. That's correct.
You're exactly right.
No, I reckon the feedback among who we call the faithful Wicksy, our listeners, is everyone's just bloody thrilled with the footy you're playing, and we can see that the hard work's really paid off. So
Yeah,
kudos.
you
to
sure
you,
it's not
mate.
mum and dad on the burner accounts?
I'll tell you what, is your dad? Your dad's Ben, is he not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We do have semi-regular discourse with Ben Wicks. He's
Yeah.
he's
No,
an
I
avid
love it.
follower.
Yeah.
Nah,
Very
it's
good.
great, mate. And just to touch on this week, mate, the derby. We love coming up against the Giants. It's a tough contest always. We've got them the last few times. Where do you think the key stands to getting the job done against the Giants this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's all going to be in the contest and that sort of pressure game. I think, yeah, Friday night footy against the Giants, I can only see it going one way. I think it's just going to be both teams going as hard as they can. I think it's going to be hot. So whichever team can kind of, get the edge in the contest and then be clean and make good decisions will come out on top, I think.
It's as I said before, they've got a very very competent forward line, and so I think it's going to be a great test for our back six. I think it's a big day for Mally and a big day for you because Hogan's probably back as well. So it's a fascinating situation. How much work is devoted in the week before to looking at those players and perhaps watching tape and understanding what your role will be? How early does that all start happening?
Yeah, pretty early. I think we'll sort of dive into the matchups tomorrow at our main session, and yeah, we'll have a back line meeting. We'll see sort of who's on who. We'll watch vision of how the Giants play and what their players do, and then I'll sit down with Mark McVeigh as well and do individual stuff on my opponent and work out sort of a plan for this Friday.
Do you ever get Mark and Jared confused? I get them confused all the time.
Nah, but I could see why. I think they probably don't have a single hair between them. So
That's good gear. That's good gear. Well, that just about wraps us up, I think, Wicksy.
Well, I mean, there were a couple of questions.
Oh, you're going to go to the
coming in.
faithful?
Well, I thought we would. Now, Megs from the Clovelly asks, "What's your favourite pub in Sydney, Sammy?"
yeah, I'd have to say the dog. No, I'm joking. The Clovelly Hotel, Megs. Of course, no, we love
She would've-
Megs.
Yeah, Meg's the best, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a sponsor this month. So, yeah, big shout out to Megs in the Clovelly.
The Clovelly Hotel.
There they go. The best TV in the Southern Hemisphere. That's why we got
biggest TV in the Southern Hemisphere and best.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing better than a doozy out in the beer garden there. So shout out to the Clovelly.
absolutely.
What else? You got one there?
How's
How's Coxie? This is from Sam. How's the comparison with Coxie and Horse been for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty seamless transition, really, considering he's already the assistant and had been there for so many years. So I think myself and all the boys pretty much already had that relationship built with him, and I think he's put his own spin on it as well, which has been awesome. And he's obviously a bit younger than Horse, is really good at connecting with the playing group. So I've loved him.
Do you like it when he sort of comes down onto the boundary and coaches?
Yeah, he is. He's pretty cool and calm and collected down on the boundary. So no, it is good having him there.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I think he gets a bit more fired up in the box too. You see the vision come through. So it's good that he brings it down a peg and really communicates with the players. It's we love when Coxie's on the bench, don't we?
Just one more from the faithful, from Laura Schultz. Who in the club have you learnt the most from in your time there?
I don't know the most from. I think it'd probably be hard to go past Dane Rampy. I think he's probably someone who's kind of been through it all in his career in terms of ups and downs. I think he's really good at that sort of leadership role and being able to guide the younger boys coming through because he's been there and experienced it. So I'd have to say he's probably rubbed off on me the most, old Ramps.
Too right, and he absolutely needs a flag, doesn't he, Sammy?
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a cheeky extension for Ramps out there for him. There's nothing more than we want to see Ramps. If it's not this year, play on and have another tilt at it next year. But thanks very much for coming on, Wicksy.
This July, True Bloods is brought to you by, once again, the Clovelly Hotel, the unofficial Sydney Swans social club by the sea. Whether you're dissecting the midfield mix or debating the best halfback pairing, there's no better spot than Clovelly's coastal oasis. And if you're a code-switching sports tragic, get down to the Clovelly for the British and Irish Lions tour, showing all the action live and loud, whether it's Wallabies, Lions, Roaring Fans, and ice-cold schooners or doozies. We have it all at the Clovelly Hotel. So whether it's AFL or rugby or just good vibes, make the Clovelly Hotel your sporting home this July. Welcome back to True Bloods.
Yes. Sound good. Boys are back. True Bloods are back.
Wow. Hey, rivalry weekend. What do we think of rivalry weekend?
Can
Rivalry
I
weekend.
just
Please,
off the long run?
you can.
If you want to do right by the game, AFL, don't have six of the 9 games overlapping, let alone putting 2 on Friday night, and then to top it off on Sunday, you got a game starting at 2:15 and at 3:20 or whatever the timing is. Both of them are in Melbourne. Yeah. What are you doing for your fan bases? You want people to watch football, you want to grow the game in New South Wales, yet you put the fucking derby on at the same time as shit-ass Essendon and the Western Bulldogs. The best game of 2024 was a derby, and you're putting it on as a doubleheader, yet you keep saying you want to grow the game. Prove me wrong that you don't care about it.
They can't get it right.
That's just so wrong.
They can't get it right.
Q clashes at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. I don't mind the WA game being at 4:15 because it's a 2:15 Saturday game. But then the showdown should be on its own.
Yeah.
It's just, the only reason I can think for it is something to do with the day breaks for each team.
Well, that's one thing, but it's also there's a thing in the contracts with WA has to have a certain amount of primetime Friday games, which is why there was a few double headers there.
Yeah.
But this Sydney one makes no
it's
sense.
putrid. It's putrid. It's just not right.
It's just not cricket.
It's just not cricket.
It made
Big cricket guy you
The
are,
big
Clarko.
I'm a big cricket guy.
In the V early, playing the V early.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
I get down for every Sheffield Shield match. I sit right next to
Flanners.
Flanners,
Exactly right.
at M38
That's
on,
right.
on level 1 of the MCC. And I just watch the great Scotty Boland just sort of roll the arm over
Very good,
of
Clarko.
a Tuesday morning.
That's right. Good knowledge from you, buddy. Well done.
what's the South Australian team's nickname?
Fucked if I know, mate.
Alrighty,
boy.
big game. Derby.
Yes.
Let's go, boys.
Look, Slick Wicks. Is the interview going to be before or after this?
I reckon before. I reckon it'll run in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well,
It'll
we just
run in
had
line.
Slick Wicks on, as you know, through the magic of podcasting,
Alessi's
and
at it.
yeah, it's and the great Alessi, who I'm not going to piss off today. We're in a situation where this means everything. A lot of the derbies have come at really critical junctions, and this is just another one where, you know, the last one was a qualifying final. That meant everything. This means everything to both of us because GWS could still not play finals. Realistically, they could, and we need to win. And this is going to be a real statement game.
Yeah.
You've been saying this for a while, AD. This is going to be a statement game to the competition. This is going to say, and this is another thing, just quickly, if you'll allow me, Deebles.
Oh, mate.
This is
your podcast.
This is
You're cooking the chook, mate. Go
this
for
is
it.
another issue I had with Hoyne. They were talking about taggers on the earlier tonight. And they were basically saying that we tag because we just don't have the talent that other clubs.
Yes, I did.
No, hold on. We don't have the talent that other clubs do, so we need to deprive the opposition of talent. And I just thought I clenched my fists and I said, Hoyne, how can you expose yourself as having such limited knowledge of the Sydney Swans? Because it's just simply not true. It's patently untrue. AD.
I would get it if this was coming from, a hut like
St Kilda.
Well, not a St Kilda, but like if it's a fan from another team
Yeah.
saying this, and this is why the Swans have to tag. Last year when we were 3 games clear on top of the ladder, what were we still doing? What was JJ doing? He was going to Tom Stewart and tagging him out of a game. He was going to Lockie Whitfield and tagging him out of games. It's not just something we've done this year. Yeah. It's something we have done for the past few years, and it's always been a part of Swans' DNA to have someone to shut down the opposition's most dangerous player.
And then all of a sudden, Toby Bedford starts doing it. And they go, best tagger in the game.
Yeah.
Spare me. Finn McGuinness.
Yeah, these are the trends, right, that can happen at this time of year. But you think contested footy when the pressure comes on, it goes defensively minded. It's not open and
you crack in.
You crack in. It's not like it is now. This is a really funny period for game style, I feel.
Yep.
So I reckon they're off the mark there big time.
Way off the mark.
And the Giants come off, let's be honest, it was a training run last week. I know they were in orange, but Essendon were a bunch of training cones out there on the weekend.
Yeah.
The amount of space and effort and movement the Giants just created, they're not going to get that on the weekend.
Yeah. Where do you think we'll go with that leads in nicely to the tagging role?
Yeah.
Who do you think we go to? It's probably a Finn Callaghan.
Finn Callaghan. This goes back to what AD was saying.
Yeah.
Right? He had led the poisoning last Thursday.
Yeah.
But
And
it wasn't against much. It's Tom Green for mine. Tom Green, everything good that happens with that midfield comes through Tom Green.
He was on world record clearance watch on the weekend.
Look, I understand where you're going with that, but that sort of gets to that Cripps mold where it's like, you got to be wary of him at contests, don't get me wrong, but they are harder to stop those 6'3", 6'4", 100-kilo mids.
You had the derby out there last year where we had that amazing second quarter, we went bananas, and Tom Green had 30-odd possessions himself, but Rowie went head-to-head with him.
Yeah,
and maybe it's the Rowie who goes to him. Now that Braden's got the additional defensive work rate behind him, maybe he goes to a Whitfield, because Whitfield's always the one we've gone to stop first, because you look at the players that historically tagged. It's Tom Stewart off halfback, Jordan Clark off halfback, Lockie Whitfield off halfback. We're trying to deprive teams of their run and carry. The one day we didn't do it, Dane Zorko had about 40 in a grand final.
Yeah,
not the point. But you also look at maybe JJ goes inside to a Green or a Callahan as well. But I think Whitfield is the first one they go to.
Yeah.
Stop that run and carry.
Do you think it's JJ that does Whitfield?
It's either him or Braden because JJ maybe be able to play inside.
Yeah, well, that's where I think.
Because Braden can also hurt going the other way.
I think Braden's doing it really well, and he's doing it pretty well the other way too. He's still getting in dangerous spots and making them accountable.
This is why I'm saying JJ to Tom Green because I think Braden can do that role really well. And JJ will make Tom Green accountable as well.
Yeah,
and JJ can get forward, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
We know what Bedford's going to do. He's going to try and tag Warner or Heaney, but we saw what the way to get around that was last year was send one of them forward, lead out of the goal square.
You would imagine it will be Heaney after last week, right? Yeah. Adam Kingsley's not that it's the obvious move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't think Bedford has this. It's the similar thing to Tom Green. He doesn't have the size nor strength to go with Heaney, whereas he's more of a Chad Warner size and mold. And then you look at like Ramps will go to Toby Green again because he's just decimated him for the last couple of years. Since he kicked that match winner, he's hardly had a kick against the Swans.
Yeah,
and it's the real dangerous thing with having these guys in form, your Chads and your Heanies, right? You can't tag them all. And Errol as well.
He had about 40 against them last year, Errol.
That's right.
We didn't even mention Errol in the review.
He just went about his business.
But how good was that goal?
Oh, yeah. What were we saying? You've got the leg, take the
That's
shot.
Right. Yeah. He was listening in last week.
But my concern is, as we were saying at Wicksy, their forward line stacked, man.
Yeah, it's interesting that like getting that little bit of insight that he may be going to
Darcy
Jones.
I thought he was kid with the lid because of the pace aspect because, like you said, I don't think Ramps nor Harry has the pace to keep up with him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. This is where Tommy not coming back is a concern because
makes it hard.
Cadman could have a big evening because Melican's going to have to play on Hogan. That means Rampy probably now has to move to Cadman because of the size.
That's what I've got.
Which then moves Harry to Green.
I've got Mally to Hogan, Rampy to Cadman.
Okay,
yeah. And look, this is where it reverts back to the contest up the ground.
Is Joel Hamling? Where's he going to go?
Yeah.
Well, this is another thing because there's also Jake Stringer.
He can't play on a Jake Stringer.
No, he can't play on a Jake Stringer. But Jake Stringer rinses us.
He
kicks goals.
He's had a good month. He came on as the sub in the game earlier this year. Kicked 3 goals, sort of kept him in the game. And I know they've been beating up on shit teams, but Jake Stringer is a confidence player. We know that. When he's up and going, he is very good. When he's off, he's off. But last month, 10 goals, 28 score involvements. Like he is in the zone, but he did beat up on a bunch of spuds last week that I could have got a game for.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
If you'll allow it, a Wilbur with a more defensive role on a Harry Himmelberg. Because I was liking what Harry Himmelberg, he isn't as damaging as he used to be. But
different role this year
but he still does provide a lot coming out of defense.
Yeah, look,
he's 6'3" too.
Yeah,
he's a tall man.
Yeah,
I'm not you got to be conscious of not getting too defensive.
No, you don't want to get too defensive, but I'm saying you want that as an option. And my point is, you don't want to let things like that get away because if you're stopping Whitfield, Harry can slot into that role and he can assist.
Who's likely to dry Simkin it with the footy.
Yes, correct.
He can butcher the footy. Like having grown up with him, he can butcher the footy.
You grew up with Harry Himmelberg.
Harry Himmelberg and Harry Cunningham both
Harry
went
Himmelberger.
Same school.
Himmelberger. Shout out the Hops brothers. Hopper brothers
doing some great work there. You get your Tasman meats, your ribeyes. They're cooking them up on your barbecues. Shout out to the Hopper boys.
That was for free. That one.
Yeah, that's very good.
Wow.
Now let's talk selection, lads.
Well, do we have the VFL report?
Oh, we do. We'll work on that in the break. You boys will talk away.
Why don't we just talk here about selection? What do you think? Do you think Peter Laddams stays in the side?
I don't think he does because Buckley's in and Sam Taylor's going to be back. So he's back from an injury, as is Hogan. So they're first up off a break.
Doesn't that piss you off that Sam Taylor's back?
But Hogan and
they were just being managed.
They could have played last week. And it's like it's Essendon with the kids, the boot boy, and everyone else. We can wait till the Swans, and it makes sense.
Like Deebs says, it's a funny time of year, isn't it? Because people are managing their way through.
Yeah. Whereas we've just got to throw everything at it, and you think with Papley back in, that makes us more dangerous. I wouldn't mind if we do go that little bit smaller. I don't think we're going to go the Aaron Francis, Joel Hamling defensive forward
Embiid.
duo. On Buckley and Taylor, but it shows if you can get into their head and sort of mess with them a little bit.
Worked last time.
But maybe it's a Jackie Bullet because we saw that he had that in his game. So it could be a big day for a Papley or a Wilbur where they have to step up. And Doss, he's torn GWS apart before. He's just got to be on his game.
It's a big day for Doss, Deebles.
The Dostridge.
Big day for Doss.
We're a big Dostridge
Gotta
pod.
deliver.
I loved his work in the first minute of the game,
Yes.
getting
Yeah.
into the wrestle pre-game and then taking a nice contested grab in the first of the game.
I want to see
We'd
more
love to see
wrestling.
that.
More wrestling.
There's a little bit of grunt factor
Bit of
amongst the
niggle.
boys.
Yeah.
Bit of niggle.
That's it. Well, everything's on the line, isn't it?
Kev's a sicko.
Kev's got a niche reference there. We'll ask to work
Millennial
that in.
reference.
Millennial reference. Straight
Yeah.
from Punchy. Shout out.
Coppers. Punch him in the face. Coppers.
Should I give it a crack, producer Alessi? We'll see how we go. The Catsy VFL report
Very
against the
good.
Kangas.
He'll be up and about.
Down by about 36 points at one stage, and the boys came back and got a win. So we'll see what the great man's got to say.
Go, boys.
Mads, Deebs, faithful. Hallelujah. An 11-point win at the Tramway Oval. If you don't mind, the boys rallied after an absolute septic tank of a first quarter to come away winners, grinding one out. Indy Kirk, best on ground.
Ooh.
23 touches, very effective by hand and foot. Caleb Mitchell and Ollie Florent following close behind. Plenty of the footy, but a couple of little mistakes with Ollie, a bit between the ears. As we well know, Will Green grabbed the game by the tits and said, "Come with me, boys." Finally gets a very, very good performance, the best I've seen him play. Amazing what happens when you dominate in the ruck, get around the ground and show a bit of ticker. Caden Cleary, Corey Warner, plenty of the footy, but not so much effective by hand and foot. Still building up. Jesse Detoli knocking on that door. 3 goals, 1. Getting a bit of the footy as well. Benny Patton unfortunately goes down. Had a fair bit of it before he did. So a bit of a watch on the injury front there. Nettie Bowman, a couple of touches around the ground. Not as effective by hand and foot as we would like, but building, getting around it. Few touches. We're seeing some incremental uplift. Robbie Fox made his return. Happy to see him in the mix. Couple of touches around the ground. And Tommy Hanley, if you don't mind, 4 goals from 8 touches. And I believe that is a 50% strike rate. Mads, am I correct? From the Big 4 bank.
That's right.
Pretty happy to come away with that one, faithful. Amazing what happens when you lift the tempo and show some ticker. On to next week. Up the potty. Up the Bloods.
I like the way he says
Yeah.
ticker.
Yeah.
Ticker.
Ticker.
It's an interesting one that he
It's
brought
the
up.
banker. The no-brainer.
That was the banker. That was the no-brainer.
There it is. Right on, Clarko.
Robbie Fox, Jake Stringer.
Nah.
No.
He's
Foxy's
just not
so
matched.
underdone,
You
bro.
don't, you don't send, all due respect, you don't send a ring-rusted Robbie Fox
the ring.
on there.
If he'd had 2 or 3 VFL games, you're like similar body type, he can just stick with him all day.
Agree.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, fuck it, Wicksy, do you go to Tobes?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that
I
either.
reckon Cunningham.
I just think he's got him too much in the air.
Yeah,
Matchup-
that's why I
matchup
reckon.
wise.
That's why I reckon Harry goes with him because at least he has the speed to go at the kid in the lid because he'll just
Yeah.
run up and down all day.
Yeah.
Did we want to mention Riak and the suspension?
No. Oh, look, it's 100% not on. We don't want to get into the
disappointing.
ins and outs. It is disappointing. We don't condone it, but you got to learn from your mistakes. And personally, I'm not out to hang anyone straight away after making an error. But everyone deserves a second chance, in my opinion.
He'll do his time. He'll do some work with the Rainbow Swans in the statement they released last night.
It's about learning,
Yeah.
right? The whole thing's about learning and being accountable, and I'm sure he will be.
That's right. So ins and outs, you got Laddams, who played as a sub. Interesting choice.
Yeah, baffling.
That really,
I really wanted him to turn it on though.
oh, it would have been nice.
I wanted a bicycle kick.
Get in front of the Barongal. Big Barongal
Big
stand
Barongal pod.
Huge pod. Riley Bice subbed off again.
Yeah.
I think there must.
Stiff.
I think there must be something in Bice's game that Coxie's not overly happy with, because he always seems to be the scapegoat, either starting as sub, subbed off. And I thought he was going okay on the weekend, but, Coxie's the man and I'm not.
Yeah, there's some interesting matchups where a couple of changes will probably need to be made. So, like, maybe, I know he probably hasn't been setting the world alight in the twos, but Oflo maybe, just because he's got that senior experience against a team like the Giants.
He's pretty good last week.
Yeah.
Last week, 36.
I'm worried about Oflo.
You're not happy?
No, I'm worried about him.
Yeah.
I'm concerned with certain news coming out of a big club in Melbourne tonight that someone wants to leave their team, that they may end up at the Swans and he could be the...
Who's that?
Charlie Curnow. He wants to go to the Gold Coast. And
Is that the mail?
that is the Tom Morris.
just the mail.
He's delivered the mail. Deebs will pick it up on the way through.
Yeah.
He
Come
wants,
collect it now
Collect
if
it
you
now
like.
if you like.
he wants to go to Gold Coast, apparently, or get out of Melbourne.
Yeah.
And Carlton are like, nah, you're contracted.
Yeah.
And with Gold Coast cap space and the fact they've already got King, Walter, and
Not
Reed,
going to happen.
tell you who needs a key
Ali.
forward and who has some cap space, Faithful.
Ali Habak is going to schwitz over this. Ali, we might be on, mate.
I know you've been big on Jamara's just going to end up
No,
here,
that will just happen.
but just trust
Hey,
me,
mate, buddy.
if it happens,
Buddy,
it'll be Charlie Curnow.
buddy.
Like it.
I reckon we can fit them both into a forward line.
That's right. We'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
We'll do 15-year contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavily back-ended.
Yeah.
It's
But
never hurt us before.
No, never.
I am concerned about Ollie.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that he's seemingly been racking them up and he's not the first choice.
Yeah.
Even to be
He's
a
a
sub.
few out. He's a few out.
He's probably fourth
Yeah.
or fifth.
Yeah. It's a
That
bit-
concerns me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who had that last year? Sort of Taylor Adams sort of fell into that mold, didn't he?
He's a test for this week as well.
And El
You'll
Parker.
be VFL.
Yeah.
And El Parker.
Yeah,
And
Parker was
Wicksy a
like
little bit
3
too.
weeks.
Hey, I miss going to the Clovelly Hotel. I want to go to the Clovelly Hotel.
Oh, do you, buddy?
Yeah.
I did.
You did mention it.
I did offer you a trip up.
I'm rethinking that. Consider that an amber light currently.
Sure.
Right.
Hey, buddy, next thing you, buddy, rock up at the match day mingle with your fucking your lights on there. It'd be a hard red light, of course.
Well,
Just you started to mention traffic lights.
I think we'll see. Us in Sydney at some stage.
There's a match day mingle out there for me.
Right.
I'm
Yeah, that's
there
the way.
in October for the dub. Pride game against Carlton.
Sure.
Locked and loaded.
Pride game against Carlton. Is that for the dub?
That's for the dub.
Is that at Henson Park?
That is at Henson. It is at 2 o'clock on a
Yes.
Sunday. I'll be on the hill with one Polly Porridge.
Yeah, good.
AFLW. We'll touch on that quickly.
Yeah, just quickly.
Darcy Maloney.
Yes.
Big Darcy Maloney pod. She comes from the ilk of the Laura Gardners, coming out of Geelong, joins the mighty Swannies. So Polly's interview with her comes out on Thursday. So
Polly did some good work up at Swans HQ.
yeah, she had Alice Mitchell on a couple of weeks ago.
Great chat if you haven't heard it.
It was really good. Really good insight into a couple of the girls. So looking forward to that one on Thursday. Mm-hmm. But Swannies by how far, lads?
I think we get it done by 15 points.
Yes. Friday night.
Yeah. Big one, stressful one, 9 points.
Yes. Oh, I reckon we just find it really starts to click. I think we've seen that in stages. I think we turned off for periods last week, but I think we'll get 4 quarters of Bloods footy and we'll be up by 4 goals with 2 minutes to go.
Oh,
and we're just going to enjoy
It would be nice
it.
just to ease through a game for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's a chance I'm not going to know the score until Sunday.
So look away now.
Right on the tip of my tongue.
That is a
Nostalgia.
real 90s footy reference
That is
for you.
nostalgia.
Sandy Roberts telling you
Yeah.
to look away now.
If you don't want to know the score, look away
Look
now.
away now.
Unless he wasn't alive then.
How berserk's that? I
Yeah.
might not know the score until Sunday.
That's,
I'll be camping.
mate, I'm concerned for you.
Mate, does that not sound like heaven?
No,
Camping sounds horrendous to me, mate.
Yeah, right. Well,
Not-
Camping for me is a 3-star hotel.
That's right. I'm from the AD mold too, but I'm sure you'll have a good
no,
time.
I am too. Hey, there's only one reason I go. It's all done for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's deluxe. But I just,
I'll find a way to get a message through to you.
yeah, I can carry a
Mate,
pigeon.
you'll get one bit of
No,
service
you know what?
and the group chat will fire up.
Surely. I reckon.
GPS ping phone.
Yeah, no, I reckon
Satellite
some sort of flare.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll use the EPIRB that
EPIRB.
if you put it up, it alerts the police, and I'll just be like, "Can you tell me who won the battle of the bridge?"
I reckon if we give you a Nokia 3315, you'll be right.
Yeah, bulk signal out there. There's some signal out there for you, I'm sure.
There has to be.
Now, tipping. Top 10 starts with Belly's banter down to 10th. Should be filthy with that. Toad Rage 9th. Greg on the Goldie.
Yes, Greg.
Greg's overseas at the moment, so shout
He's
out to
in
Greg.
Vanuatu.
Wow.
More tropical than the Gold Coast.
Wow. Swanee 89 in 7th. Wish list. I wonder what he's wishing for. Who's his DP?
A dub.
It's got Isaac Heaney taking a hanger, so we'll wish for that. Hopesy down to 5th. He'd be filthy with that too. Paddy the Baddie in 4th. J Max in 3rd. Isabel Lowe in 2nd. And Schmitty 17 ahead on points in 1st position.
Wow.
It all starts Thursday night, lads. Who have we got? Go to tip now. Find it. Competition.
We've got on Thursday night, we've got
Home.
Hawthorn versus Carlton.
That's right. Producer Alessi's
and I'm
Hawthorn.
tipping Hawthorn.
Yes, up the Hawkers.
God, Kerno. That's berserk.
Did we like the little bit of theatre with the Jack Ginnivan plane?
And I
on the
loved
weekend?
Kenny's response.
Oh, fantastic.
Give him the money back. Give him the money back.
So the thing is, everyone's like, oh, Kenny was such a good sport in that. At the end of the day, Kenny's like, yeah, we won the final, dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, didn't matter.
But still, give him the money back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the biggest rort of $20,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Grand larceny.
I will say the Blues by 2
Ooh.
points. Sam Doherty's last game, 5-day backup out of the wet rain. Will Day first up off a long spell.
They don't lose with Will Day.
Mate,
Fact.
that Hawthorn will win by 60 points. Take that to the bank. That could be a new thing.
Take that.
Take that to the bank.
Take that to the undisclosed Big Four bank that I work at.
60 points.
Get your interest.
60 points. Wow.
Very good. Friday night, we have the Don Dome. We love some footy at Don Dome. We got the Dons and the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
It'd be
comfortably.
amazing if Essendon could somehow do us a favour, but they'll lose by 100.
Yeah, go the Dons. Up the Dons.
Gold Coast and-
don't support other results.
No, mate, that's fine.
But Western Bulldogs missing the final
That's
would
fine.
be very fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
Saturday afternoon, Gold Coast and the Lions.
Oh, that's probably game of the...
Another one we need to ride home hard.
I
Clarko.
reckon the Lions will do a number on them.
Up the Lions.
No Daniel Rioli, Sam Collins.
They're cooked now, Gold Coast. I
Nah,
reckon.
they've got Essendon. They've got Essendon in another game that they'll sneak into finals and
up the
Hawthorn will
Lions.
smack them in the first week.
Yeah, go Lions.
Go Lions.
Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
Fremantle versus West Coast.
Freo.
Way to go.
North Melbourne, Geelong.
Geelong.
by about 100 as well.
Yeah, tend to agree.
Yeah, they will have checked it out now.
Showdown, Adelaide and Port.
Kenny's last showdown, they're going to get smashed. Adelaide are
I think
simply awesome.
they are
You're
pretty
on
good.
board now, Deebs?
Yeah, I think you got to be, don't you?
Yeah.
If they get top 2, they'll make the grand final, Adelaide.
Yeah. Yep. I can't see them winning a flag though. Still can't.
That's what I
see
mean.
it,
They'll
but,
make the grand final. And they'll lose.
very good. Sunday afternoon, we have Richmond and the Pies.
Richmond off the back of 2 wins. The Pies with 2 losses.
Yes.
And the Pies will win.
Yeah, I think
It should be Collingwood Carlton in rivalry weekend.
I think so.
And then an hour later, across the road at Don Dome once again.
Yeah.
The worst way to finish your week with St Kilda and Melbourne.
That's horrific, and they're not even rivals.
But that's what I mean. You have a rivalry around. Who do the D's play? I don't know, whoever's left.
Yeah.
Like the D's don't have
I think you
rivals.
picked the Saints.
Yeah, I reckon the Saints.
Slight ups-
I'll
slight
go the
upset
D's.
for mine.
Yeah.
For yours.
Very good. Well, thanks to the club and Wicksy for
Wicksy.
coming on.
Go,
we
boys.
appreciate the access. It's always good. Thanks to the Clovelly Hotel.
Yes.
Sensational supporters. Thanks
Yes.
to Doozy being on board. Shout out to Flinders Street Co. Get your candles. Any other shout outs? Hopper Street.
Hopper Brothers.
Hopper Barbecues.
Hopper Brothers Barbecue.
The
who else?
undisclosed Big Four.
Thanks to the bank for paying me a salary
That's
and
right.
helping me get in here on a Tuesday night.
Oakley Locksmiths, thank you.
Thanks to
AFL Today.
AFLW Today will have a Swans player on next week as well. So if you
Wow.
want more W feel from the Swans gals next week, not sure who it is yet, but I'm interviewing someone.
Now, remember, as long as we keep winning, Alex Donnelly's sitting here. So if you don't want him here anymore, faithful, do something
Get
to stop
those
us
L's
from
in
winning.
the chat. Get those L's in the chat.
But the feedback's been good, so we hope you're there, sitting there next week,
I
OD.
do too.
That's right, but this has been...
But you're never safe. I just want to let you know that.
Keep on that.
Quick to cut.
That's right. But this has been True Bloods. We are the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast where we remain number one in your hearts and number one on the charts. We're speaking words of wisdom up the potty.